have a comic review. Our friends over at Image, amazing, Image, amazing individuals working over there. They sent us a copy. Actually, they sent us a while back, but I didn't want to read it till closer to the um, the day, because then I would forget, or sometimes when we do it too early, I'll forget to rip it out and then share it again on the channel. But our comic review for this week will be "The Moon is Following Us" #1. This is
Great
is
title.
an upcoming book. It's a great title, yeah. Upcoming book from Image Comics. Is created, written, and with some art by Daniel Warren Johnson, and then also his co-creator Riley Rossmo, who's also doing most of the interior art, and then Mike Spicer on colors, Sean Lee on letters. There is a variant cover that Ryan Stegman did. You'll see that later on in our little video. But let me give you a quick synopsis here. Sam and Duncan LaMarr love their 6-year-old daughter Penny more than anything in the world, but half a year ago, she was taken by the Cascade, an evil force they barely understand. Now Sam and Duncan must fight side by side with the magical beings Penny cherished to try to get her back uh, before she's gone forever. It is a pretty wild premise, I'll say that much. But
Yeah.
Jeff, what did you think of The Moon is Following Us?
I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you read or if I talked about. There was a book called Cemetery Kids Don't Die. I think it was from Oni
I remember
Press.
that title, but I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly what we talked about.
So it's similar. So that book kind of reminded me of this book, and in that book, kids were playing kind of what a massive multiplayer online game,
Oh
whatever those
yeah.
are called. Um, and they would get trapped in the game, and
Hmm.
so you'd have to go back into the game to untrap their friends or whatever, or they get caught in the game or whatever. So this kind of feels like that, in that these you're kind of dropped in the middle of the story,
Yeah.
uh, and you kind of have to play catch up as the reader when you find out that these two parents are trying to get their daughter back. But then at the end, the twist is that it's kind of in a weird virtual reality kind of thing is happening. Uh, so they have to play between these two worlds of like the reality world, and then they have to go
Yeah.
back into the fake world to try to rescue their daughter. Very Matrixy kind of also like the Matrix.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, it was really good. Artwork is great. It's Daniel Warren Johnson, so there's a lot of feeling behind what's going on. There's
Yeah.
it's there's action, but then there's a lot of emotional tether to the reasoning for the action. So it's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I think if you're a fan of there's a term for anime called isekai, which just it's like the genre of anime that just takes you to a different fantasy world through
Mhm.
some means. This is definitely a book that you're gonna enjoy. When we got to that part of the story, I was like, oh, this is kind of like Sword Art Online. I was like, and I know Daniel Warren Johnson's a fan of manga and anime, so like I can definitely see the influence there. I think Riley Rossmo is the perfect person to do a story like this. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I don't know where, here's my iPad because I want to show some preview art, but I only have pages from the beginning, which is
Mm.
the main world. So let me pull that up, which I love. I think Riley Rossmo just works. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
and they have similar styles, but what I just started to notice, and I'm okay, yeah. So everything in this fantasy world is it's Riley Rossmo, and I had not put together because I didn't read the credits, and their art style is very similar. Anything in the real world is Daniel Warren Johnson art,
Hmm.
which I just blew my own mind that I hadn't put that together, but it makes sense. It works. Um, it's really there. You
Who's
even get
Florence Pugh?
yeah. You even get hints at it here because I think this to me feels like a Warren Johnson panel, just this little one where they're talking about
Uh-huh.
Penny. And then there's another little panel that where they're having like a memory taken
Oh
where
yeah,
they
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah.
I think that panel is also Daniel Warren Johnson because it's in the real world. But it's got a lot of really cool, colorful characters, um, and it definitely feels like a little bit of an adventure game.
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out why the dad is so hesitant to act in this world. There's got to be a little bit more to it, maybe more consequences that we're not fully aware of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. And like I said, I big fan of both Riley and Daniel Warren Johnson. So very excited that we got to read this a little bit ahead. And then I highly, highly encourage everyone to go check it out this week.
Does
Um,
it say if it's like a 5 or 6 issue series, or does it?
I don't know. To me, this feels like it would be a perfectly good 6 issue, or knowing Daniel Warren Johnson, maybe 7 or 8, right? Because
Hmm.
the his last few books have been around that length, which is, I think, really good way to get your story, like really be able to tell it all in there. So, but yeah, I love it. I love it. And of course, we get a Daniel Warren Johnson cover, a Riley Rossmo cover, and a Ryan Stegman cover, which I was not expecting, but I'm definitely going to try to track down. So, all right, Jeff, anything else to say on The Moon is Following Us, #1?
No, I'm curious because I'm hoping they get to why that is the title of the book. I
Oh,
mean, they
yeah.
do drop it
Yeah.
inside the book as well as a line, but again, it's kind of part of the mystery
To
of
see if
just
there's more to that. Yeah, there's more
yeah.
to that, maybe. Okay. Well, here's some covers to close out this part of the review. Like I mentioned, Daniel Warren Johnson,